Well, we're settled in, and I want to show you what we did on the outside and also on the inside, and show off some of the automation stuff that I've done. Obviously, here's the front. You'll see cameras pretty much in all corners of the home. We detect motion and obviously record any actions. There's a driveway we had expanded. It was from just the door sides, so now we can fit 3 cars across. In here, Maya, we modified the entry, added some pavers, added this half circle, and we also got the security door, which turned out really nice, matches. We have a Ring doorbell, which a lot of folks have these days. You just heard the motion detection because it's Halloween. And all the doors are also automated. They're Bluetooth, but there's also a connection via internet that we can open remotely, or we can give a key to somebody, virtual key, and they can open the door. So all we really need to do, we don't need the phone, though it is Bluetooth and it connects to the phone. All we need to do is tap on it once and it'll open, and then we can open the door. To close, you can just tap it twice and it should lock. There it goes. Again, those are on all the exterior doors. Here we go. There's another camera up there for the front. Here on the side, and you see there's a automated valve that should have leak be detected anywhere in the home where I have sensors. I believe I have somewhere around 12 sensors, and anywhere where there's water, that's in all the bathrooms, under the sinks, the toilets, even up in the air handler. So I can show you, I pulled one out from one of the bathrooms, and we can show you what happens when it gets wet. So I'll just set the hose to it, and it might be a little difficult with one hand, but I apologize for that. Let's start the hose over here. Alright, let's get the sensor wet. You see immediately the valve closes to prevent any damage. And if we go in the home or near a door, we should hear the alarm from the inside. So that'll go on for about a minute, and if we're not home, we get a notification on the phone that says a leak was detected or moisture was detected. Look on the phone, get in the shade a little bit. It says moisture detected. We'll dismiss that. So again, we don't have to be home for that to happen. I don't know if you heard it, but the sirens inside just stopped. Okay, so again, that'll help from water damage. We can also turn that back on remotely. Just wait for the phone to load. There's over 150 devices, so it does take a little bit to get the status of all of them. Okay, if we go to the bottom, we'll find the water. As you can see, there's quite a bit. Okay, so the water main shut off. If we click on that, now that obviously gives us the status, and it is closed. So if I hit the open, and immediately responds and opens the valve again and restores water to the home. into the backyard. The gate also has a sensor, and it does make a unique sound in the home. Also, it notifies via the phone as well. Here's a side door. It has another one of those locks where we can just tap to open. And then, of course, the lock. It's nice not having to pull anything out of pocket. So there's the pathway to the back. I got a couple of sheds new, and I had an older one. This cleans out the garage a little bit. As we go back, we see some lighting that's also automated. That'll come on and off at dusk. Here's the backyard. We have an awesome view. Sorry about that in back. The phone decided that it was too hot for it. It's October 20th and it's going to be 93 degrees here in Phoenix. I went inside, let it cool down a little bit, so I came back out. And then Maya decided to visit us today. So, okay, here's a fire pit that we had built. It is electronic and automated as well. Later on this evening I'll come out here in the dark and show how that works. Here's some artificial turf for the dogs. They seem to enjoy it. And we got these, I don't know what you'd call them. It's almost like a hammock without the struggle. Getting in and out, those are nice. And on the side of the home here, there's 2 empty lots that will stay that way. So it's nice not having anybody next to us. And this is a wash, which won't be built on other than what's already there. You see along the way there, I have a cellular tower, which I get 5 bars, and I'm very happy about that. When we go inside, I'll show you. I have a internet backup that's cellular, so that gives us pretty good speeds. Take a look around. The sunsets are very nice. And I'll show you that too. I'll throw a little thing in there. There's another view. I'm waiting on a awning. It's about 20 feet wide. We'll put up there. That'll help with the shade in the afternoon. We're facing west, so the sun, when it gets pretty low, it comes in into all the windows. So that'll help to be able to be out here during the summer, you know, with the sunlight. In the shade, it's not so bad. Plus, you can see the fan up there in the patio, and that's automated as well. In fact, all the fans in the home are automated. I place Google Homes everywhere in the home, well, practically everywhere. So if we wanted to turn on the fan, obviously we could come use this remote, but that's no fun.
Motion detected on patio cam.
Okay, the camera's just detected that I walked into the patio. There's a camera up there, so that gets announced throughout the home, and that goes for all the cameras. They're not just motion, it also has zones, so motion has to be a certain direction. Like for instance, on the side of the house where we came through the pathway, there's got to be motion coming from the front into the back, and then it'll detect that. If somebody's going from the back to the front, it ignores that. So let's get this fan going by Google Home. Okay, Google, turn on the patio fan.
Sure, turning on the patio fan.
And there it goes. We're going to adjust speeds, but that's hard to tell in the video. So let's turn it off. Okay, Google, turn off the patio fan.
Sure, turning off the patio fan.
And there we go, you can see it slow down. Okay, Google, turn on the patio lights.
Okay, turning on 2 lights.
Okay, Google, turn off the patio lights.
You got it, turning off 2 lights.
So most all the lights are automated as well via voice, or there's also some remotes that talk to the SmartThing hub that runs everything. So let's go back up to the front and we'll show you the garage. Be right back. We're at the door. We can open it up from our phone, or I like to just use my watch, so let's get that. Okay, Google, open the garage door.
Sure, opening the garage door.
And of course we have a keypad, we knew that there. Here's my baby. This is a 3-car garage tandem, though you couldn't put a 3rd car in here if you wanted to. We also had the floor epoxied, kind of like a granite effect. That turned out real nice. Go through here. Here's that side door we saw earlier with the automated lock. And this is the 3rd car area. We have a couple of freezers and a refrigerator. My wife does candy and stuff, so we need that. On the back is still a mess here. That's everything I use to maintain the cars, washing and waxing and all that good stuff. And then this door leads into the kitchen hallway. On the other side is where the vacuum robot is, and the second pantry. So let's go inside and show you the inside. And of course, if we have to, we can obviously close the garage with a button. So let's do that. Of course, I got to get out of the way. There we go. All right. See you in a bit. I forgot something. We're in my car now, and I do have another automation that I use. These little called flick buttons. They're Bluetooth button that connects to the phone, and you can have it do something for a press, double press, and a long press. I use it to open the garage door, so I can be a block away or more, and the door will be open by the time I get up to the house. So let's try that. Let's go look in the back. You should hear the door going down now. And then once we get inside, I'll show you the device that handles that. So see you in a bit. So in the front, we have two peepholes because of the shortness of some people in the home. And the dogs are going to greet us. They'll shut up once they know who it is. Hi guys. Okay, to the side here we have my daughter's room, which is a mess, so we'll stay out of there. This is Stacy's office / exercise room. Come back out the hall. We go in the laundry room. The lights will turn on once we enter. Here we have a couple of Samsung washer and dryers. They're also internet enabled, so we can get notifications from our to our phones or even the house, and I'll show that a little later. All the internet stuff is the box on the left is, I mentioned before, that's a cellular modem. You can see it has all 5 bars because we're so close to that antenna. Of course, to the right of that is the router. Below that is the cable modem from Cox, where we have Gigablast or 1 gig internet. And should Cox go out, the seller will automatically take over. The Synology router has that built in, so if it detects the Cox cable internet going out, I believe it checks like maybe 3 times in, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. I think it's quicker than that actually. And then I'll switch over. And then of course when Cox comes back, it'll go back. So that ensures that we have internet always. If we scroll down here, that's all battery backed up. So if the power's out, we still have Wi-Fi, which is important. This is the box that contains all the cables. If you open that up, you'll see a big mess. The white cable is the TV, and of course the blue is the Ethernet. And they all come down here. Most of them are the cameras, they're IP cameras. They're powered over Ethernet, and that's these 2 small boxes in front. They all hook up to a 24 port switch, and also every room in the home has wired Ethernet, but my office has 3 jacks in there because of work, and the cameras needed, obviously better over hardwired than Wi-Fi. But there's plenty of Wi-Fi. That's a pretty beefy router. Does pretty good. Let's give it a close. Let's come out again. This has just a dumb motion sensor. So it does its own thing. I have it masked off a little bit, so it will only activate when someone gets in the room. Otherwise, if the door's open, it detects somebody walking by into one of the old bathrooms. There's Maya. Hi, Maya. You all right? Okay, cool. Let's go out and let's go across the hall. This is my office. So once we go in here, the lights will turn on automatically. This is where all the magic happens. Also, the fan turns on automatically. I like the fan on all the time while I'm in here. I like the breeze. So after we exit the room and the motion stops, the lights will turn off, and also the fan will as well. So in here, again, is the office. Here's my drone that you've seen in other videos. It kind of hangs out there. Here is the dedicated, well, it does more than just the cameras. But this is the server that handles the IP cameras. From here we can go back and see any action, but of course any action that happens, you just saw those 2 go black, that's the garage. Since motion has stopped, they turned off by themselves. So again, any action that happens, movement, of course it records here, but we also get notification on our phones that we could view the snippet immediately, or if we something happens and we want to research further. Some of them, the ones with overviews, like this one, the back, this one, the front, and then the one that kind of watches the other side. Those record all the time, so there's no notifications for motion on those. So we can, get any look back at any point in time and see what's going on there. Okay, let's go back to the hall. As we walk here, there's a motion sensor that turns the hall light on. As you saw, it just turned on. There's a sensor right there on the wall. This is the great room. This rug was a housewarming present from my sister Nikki and my dad. Thank you guys. Looks great in here. Walk through here. Here's the kitchen. You'll notice lights on the top of the cabinetry. There's also lights underneath the island, and also underneath the storage, I'll call it, but you know, that houses the receivers and things like that, and some other things. Okay, and then this area looks like the dogs are in here. The lights turned on. There's sensors on those as well. This is a cool thing we found at IKEA. I call it a shoe cabinet. And then this is my wife's toys. It's a second pantry. That's where all her kitchen stuff goes. Here's our little vacuum robot. It's called Debop. That can also vacuum and mop. Though, you know, it's really just dusting as far as the mopping goes, which here in the desert, it's helpful. So this is scheduled to clean every other day. It goes throughout the home, and I'll show that application, show you what it does. It creates a map of the home, so it knows where things are and it won't bump into anything. And if for some reason we want to you know, send it to clean one area, we can just select that in the app, and it'll do its thing. This door is a garage door. You notice a lot of the switches have these covers over them, and that's because they're automated from a light bulb itself and not the switch. I have both here, but that's just a connected bulb. This is the garage, and if we open it, you'll see the lights turn on immediately when we open the door. There they go. And then I should have mentioned before, there's a couple of, I think I did, there's a couple cameras in here. There's also motion sensors. So once motion stops in here, the lights turn off. There's also a notification for the garage door if that stays open for more than 10 minutes. It'll announce it in the house and also on the phone. But if it detects motion, and that's specific to when I wash the cars, that that alert won't happen, because we know it's, you know, motion's supposed to be, or the door's supposed to be open. Dogs are doing what dogs do. Come on, guys, let's go in the house. Come on, in the house. That's Dexter. That's Maya. Watch out. Okay. We are back in the kitchen, and if we walk into the kitchen, you'll see that the lights on the cabinets turn on automatically. Installed the backslash a week before we moved in. And this is cool. We found, thanks to my sister. That's my wife's ice maker. Because we go through a lot of ice, and this refrigerator has a small ice maker that we have in order to subsidize the use. This is also a Samsung refrigerator, basically a big tablet on it, which is kind of cool. I've always wanted one of these, so getting home was an opportunity to go ahead and do that. What's nice about it is, I think I mentioned the Ring doorbell out front. Should somebody ring the doorbell, it'll automatically pull up the image from the front door, and from here we could speak to the individuals by clicking the green there, and of course we can close it here. If we want to look at some previous footage, again, all this can be done from the phone as well. I'm not sure what this is all about. All right. So here shows all the motion activity or ring activity. This also shows my father's home, where he has a doorbell and a driveway. So I can look at his. It's just a way to keep an eye on over there. So this is his driveway. This was remember what time it was, but it doesn't look like anything's going on. Unfortunately, the stick cam, I think it's called, doesn't have very good motion settings. So anytime a car runs by, it sets it off. So if we click on one of ours 24 minutes ago, it'll catch me videoing, showing the camera there. Let's see what else. It also has a it's called Family Hub, and it has calendars. It shows common events for me and my wife, and my daughter is not very good about filling hers out, but it's good. Anybody can add items from their phone, so it's available here. Of course, we can play Pandora. Also, we can manage the refrigerator itself. It's sharp. That is something we do when we're out. If we need to, there's a camera inside, so we do this from the phone as well. Every time the
Motion detected on north side camera.
there's a motion over there's probably one of the dogs. So anytime we're out and for some reason want to see what's in the fridge, we can do this from our phone. So every time we open the door, it takes a snapshot. And of course, I don't know why, but if you want to go back in history, you can see how the snapshots are taken over time. So this also, because of the home automation, we can pull up a GUI. It reloads every time it's opened. So here we got window shades, which I haven't shown you yet, but they're all automated. The fire pit is automated as well. Later we'll show you how that works. And it shows all the different lighting devices that we can turn on and off from here. Nook lights, patio, it goes on and on and on and on. But so for instance, let me find one. We're here in the kitchen. Let me click on that and move over. You see the lights will pop up. There they are. The lights are on. Of course, we can ask Google to do that as well. Let's turn those off. And they go off. There we go. All these lights in here are hue lights, meaning that we can make them any color we want. So that's kind of fun. Let's see what else. Here shows the status of the doors. When we go to bed, we tell Google it's time for bed, and it'll do some things to make sure the house is secure by locking all the lights. Unfortunately, Google Home can't do it by itself, so I actually have to ask Alexa, which has a home right next to Google here in the great room, and Alexa actually does the action. Hi Alexa, lock the front door. Alexa, lock the front door.
Locking. Hang on.
And because I don't know if you heard the noise, but the door just locked. Unfortunately, it's only compatible with Alexa. I've tried. I'm not talking to you. So that's a workaround until we can figure out a better solution. Oh, I think I passed this up. We're back where the garage is in the second pantry. This is where the dogs hang out when we go out. If we're home, they're out and about. There's some extra cabinets for things. So there's an island. We talked about, show the kitchen. Wife's happy about her double oven. Oh, I'm sorry. I went away from here. Sorry about that. Here lists some of the moisture sensors. That's not even all of them, and their status. Here's all the motion sensors. They include the cameras, which I could use for other automation. It's not strictly for just recording. It shows kitchen motion, and that's because we're in here right now. Everywhere else, there's no motion. There's also presence indicators, so we can have different actions, like when people come home. So right now I'm the only one home, so it shows me present. My wife Stacy and Megan are gone. On the door sensors, there's on front doors, garage door, even the refrigerator has the triggers. So if I want to be notified when somebody goes in the fridge, I can do that. But you know, obviously we don't. Here's the gate sensor, so anytime any one of those open, we'll get notified by the phone and a chime inside the home. A lot of devices come with built-in temperature sensors. So they display here. I suppose you could use it if if sun goes to a certain temperature, you can have some action, but they're just for display. And this is a device that I'm kind of, the top row is a device I'm kind of looking at. I want to utilize the light sensor, which here shows 78 lux, sorry. And that's to work the shades, and I'll show you how those work. And there's that water shut off that I showed you before. We can turn it on and off from here as well. And this is a repeater because there's some devices that are far away and have trouble connecting to the hub. So you can also view all the security cameras from here as well, and we can click on the individual cameras to get a bigger view. So that's that. There's also our faucet here is automatic. You put your hand up there, it'll turn on, and then it turns off. Or if you want it on for a period of time, you wave your hand over, it turns on and off. Should you leave it like this, it'll turn off after some time. I'm not sure what the timing is, but it'll do that. I also have one of those buttons I showed you in the car that is under the counter here that works the garbage disposal. So underneath here, the switch that normally would work the garbage disposal, I put one of those covers so nobody turns it off. And then in the back there, you can't really see it, but there's a where are you? Here's a Wi-Fi outlet, just kind of in the center there in the back, and that's what this button initiates or activates. Now this button does not talk to my phone because obviously if you're not here, that doesn't do you any good. And I'll show you that hub once we go over there. This is the Nook. It's a nice table we got. It's real wood, so we have to make sure we use coasters and such so we don't damage it. And then in the back we have windows to the backyard. We have a view of the fire pit, and of course the great view from our backyard. Come around, here's where the dogs hang out sometimes. Here's the patio. Here's the TV area. And here it's a mess in here. Apologize, but I'm going to show you some of the devices in here. This is called a Bond hub, and that's what allows me to automate the ceiling fans. Down here is the Hue hub for the Hue lights, and this white box is the Flick hub, and this currently only connects to the garbage disposal button I showed you. Here's a switch that kind of connects all the internet enabled things in here. We have a Sonos for a sound system. I usually have wired speakers, but because of the open area here, I needed to go wireless. In the middle here is the Harmony hub, and that is for a remote which controls TVs and other things. I do have a camera in here that's pan tilt zoom. I can look anywhere in this room and on the sides. And then the SmartThing hub sits here. It's central located, so it's good for that. But the hub here allows us to automate the TV and such. So if I ask Google to turn on the TV, she'll turn it on. Okay, Google, turn on the TV.
Okay.
And it takes a second. We'll see the TV light goes from red. I also have lighting behind the TV. You can see that the colors are changing around it based on the color of the set. So for movies and things, that's really gets you engaged further. It's kind of immersive, which is cool. All right, let's turn the TV off. I'll be right back. I have to show you some of the devices I have in the office here. The box on the right is for the locks on the exterior doors, and that is a hub. It connects to the locks via Bluetooth, and then this box actually makes them internet enabled to where we can open the door from anywhere. The next box on the left with the lights blinking, that is a what's it called, Obi, and that actually allows us to use a landline phones with Google Voice, so the phones are plugged into that. The next box with the IP address, that's a Raspberry Pi that currently handles the voice in the home. It broadcasts to the Google Homes in all the rooms for any notifications that I want to send that way. The last one is obviously a internet switch that connects a lot of devices in here. The top one is actually what the PCB board is actually a Wi-Fi relay, which in turn simulates pushing the garage door button, and that's how it opens from Google Home or the flip device in the car. So that's what those up in the garage there. Just out there in the garage. We're seeing the yellow means that the side door was open. Now because the garage door is open, it blinks red there. And then I have two of these, one here and one in the master bedroom. So if somebody leaves the garage open, obviously it will also alert us every 10 minutes if the door's open and announce it. I did that after I had these lights in, but it's still nice to see a quick note activity or status of what's going on. So I'll go ahead and close the garage. The dogs think somebody's home. Stay. Back. Stay. Yeah, let's close the door. Stay. And you see the yellow for the door we just opened, that'll turn off, and then once the door closes, the red will stop as well. Okay, now that's closed. Now also when the fire pit's on, it shows the third LED, kind of a purple color, that is just a quick indication that that's on as well. Let's see. Oh, this is a cool thing that we haven't seen before. Back towards the master bedroom. The dog door. Stools. Of course, that's electric because why not? The dogs have little collars or sensors on their collars that allow them to open the door. We'll do that manually, so that pops open where they can come in and out as they like. And here's the master bedroom. These lights turn on with motion as well. Here's that secondary switch that has the same status. Right now the lights are on, so they're reflecting that status. As we turn the lights off, it's also dimmer, obviously. And then because the fans are automated, those switches are covered. The house is built for a switch for the fan, a switch for the light. But since the automation, does that, those are just covered just to make sure the power stays on. You have a TV dresser because we moved. Those lights turned on again. Yeah, and here's the view outside of our bedroom. And I haven't mounted these virtual things yet quite here, but you know, that works. These right now, they're not on the automation system quite yet. Haven't quite gotten to that yet, but so they're there. Here's a barn door that I made for here. We were getting prices and it was just ridiculous what they want to make one of these, because the opening is kind of oversized. I think it's 4 by 8 is the actual opening, and there's plenty of them out there for standard size entry doors, but you know, saved about half, did it myself. I think it turned out nice. And then we pass there. Here's the master bath. Here it's got a nice tub in the middle, his and hers sinks. As we walked in, you saw, or I don't know if you detected, but the lights turned on, even in the toilet area. At night, they come on. Well, these don't come on above the mirrors, but the upper ones come on at the minimum dim level, so we could, you know, make way to the toilet or whatever. The closets, walk in. Of course, as soon as we go in here, the light will turn on because it's automated as well. And because I can, when you go into the shower, to turn on the water to warm it up, stick your hand in here, the shade will come down for some privacy, and also the exhaust fan will turn on to keep the humidity down. And then after motion stops in the shower, there's actually a motion sensor up here behind the door. So once that stops, I don't know if you hear the fan, but you can also tell it's on from the switches. That fan is this one. This is the main lights. All three of those are Z-Wave switches, talk to the hub. So again, after you're done with the shower and the motion stops it there, and after 15 minutes, the fan will turn on and the shade will return to the position it was before you open the door. So if it's closed when you start, it stays that way. If it's half open, it returns. So that's that. Come back out. There's the puppies. Hi guys. Oh, we missed a little powder room to the side. See, it's dark. Once we walk in this hallway, the lights will turn on again. There we go. There's a little toilet, or excuse me, powder room area. The thermostat is also Wi-Fi enabled, so we can, you know, adjust from the couch or whatever. There's a bunch of sensors throughout the home that take the temperature, so it tries to keep the temperature constant. This is what happens when a washer or dryer is done, but there's different colors for each.
Dryer cycle has finished.
Okay, Google, turn on the fire pit.
You got it. Turning the fire pit on.
Okay, Google, turn off the fire pit.
Okay, fire pit is on. Fire